Hi everyone, this is Nadia. I'm an occult specialist that uses spiritual intelligence to empower entrepreneurs and to help empowered life story to live a balanced life. Today on this round of a case study, I have someone very special and somebody I've had a very healthy and good relationship with that I really want to share in terms of this case study. And really touch on topics that are going on in modern day society. And as a fellow Aquarius woman, we probably have a very, very similar perspective on things. And a lady that has obviously seen a lot of the entertainment industry and has really gone down a very redeeming and incredible journey of her own self. So without further ado, what is your name, story, and how did you find me?
My name is Rita. Some people know me as Rita G. Some people know me as the woman who killed Kanye in the Flashing Lights video. Some people know me from Playboy or what have you. And I found you on Twitter. I just, started noticing your tweets and would retweet them and that kind of thing.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your story, because your story is just very, very, very incredible. From Playboy model to the video vixen in Kanye West's Flashing Lights. And I've watched that video many, many times. Just want to say you have an incredible body. I think you're definitely body goals in that video. It's incredible, and it's so amazing how you carry yourself with such vigor and such power and such command. And I wanted to know a little bit about your story. I know that you are a photographer now and you work on your own projects. And what was it like to be in the entertainment industry in general? What were your experiences?
I think I was in the entertainment industry like somewhat briefly. And I remember like shortly after the video came out, I didn't know a lot about like not reading comments and things like that. And like shortly after the video came out, I was invited to like a red carpet thing. And after the red carpet interview thing, I happened to catch a clip of it, and some of the comments were things like, "Oh my God, she looks like a man," or "She's a butterface, like her everything is hot but her face." She looked like she wear her shoes on the wrong feet. Like all this stuff.
Oh, who
And,
are these people?
right. And it's like, not that I'm giving so much power to these people and what they can say to me, but I just remember from that moment or that experience feeling like, oh, you know what, this 5 minutes or this 15 minutes right here is enough for me to realize, this is not a place, this is not a spotlight or a place I want to live. So I just dipped my toe in the water, and then I retreated. I'm like, okay, I'm good over here. I'm gonna find behind the scene interests that I enjoy or whatever. I don't enjoy being in front of the camera or the
I
entertainment.
mean, I'm stunned because you have you played the are you Kanye West's girlfriend in that? What is the
Yeah.
story behind it?
Yeah, I remember I was just in LA doing a couple of modeling gigs, and my little agent at the time called me and said that, was I available to do a video on this date for Kanye West and everything. And that's all I really knew. And I was like, I'm not sure. I need more information. And then they told me what it was paying. And then I negotiated a lot more than that once I was able to speak for myself. And because once I asked for more information, I found out that he requested me specifically. And then I found out that I would be the only person in the video.
Oh, wow.
and and stuff. So I was able to get a lot more money than was initially offered because of that. And it was a great experience. He was a consummate professional, and he was somebody. He was very involved with each stage of what was happening. This was before we knew him as anything or wanting to do anything but be a rapper. But on the video shoot, he he met with me before he did the styling. He had racks and racks of clothing, and he was personally picking all the clothes and having me try on this and making this decision on wardrobe. He made a decision on hair, that wig. He made a decision on makeup. And then for the actual shooting of the video, he's like behind the thing that right there with the director, the same guy who directed I forget this guy's name. He directed really big movies, and he's basically letting Kanye co-direct and teaching him direct cinematography at the same time. And that was supposed to happen in one take. It took a couple of takes, but it wasn't like some all-day video shoot. Like we only had a couple hours with the sun.
It's a phenomenal video. So I've watched it a few times. It's very phenomenal. So do you actually kill Kanye in the video? I'm just so curious.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
Did you guys fall out in the video? What's the story?
The story of the flashing lights means that is the story of the paparazzi who exposes or illuminates his cheating ways to the girlfriend who's had enough of the lies and blah, blah, blah.
Right. So she just got to the point where she's just like, we are just done with you, basically. We just when I saw you pick up the shovel, I was like, wow, that's a different level of done.
Right. Yeah. And I actually didn't know that until a few moments before. I didn't know anything that was going to happen. All I knew is I was going to walk back and forth. And then they gave me the shovel.
You're like, yep, you have to finish it. You have to completely wrap it up. So I'm curious to ask, what were you struggling with when you found me at Spartanite? What was going on in your life?
I think, well, it was for sure after like my ex had passed away, who was like just this once in a lifetime type of connection, type of love, type of experience. And I mean, I don't know what words they have for it. I hear sometimes twin flame and things like that. I don't know if it was any of that. All I know is that it was a very balanced and healthy and gentle type of love that I very much needed in my life. And it gave me a lot. It taught me a lot. We never said an unkind word to each other.
So wonderful. Yeah.
I don't think we really ever disagreed about much, but if it was just a discussion or whatever. And it was sudden, and it really pained me in a way where I was pretty much like in shock, like the first 6 months. And then after 6 months or so is when it hit me the hardest. And then within those 6 months is when I cross paths with sort of a narcissist. And a lot of times when we are depressed and sad, and we linger in that saddened and depressed state for long periods of time, it's a low vibration. You're at a low vibration where you're attracting other things at that low vibration, which is usually users, abusers, and predators. And so, I just wasn't consciously aware of that at the time. And that's how I, encountered an experience like that. And so,
I remember you had like a lot you told me when I remember we first met. And this, by the way, for everybody watching, this is years ago. I've known Rita for like years upon years upon years, like so long, like probably, yeah, it's probably about 5 years plus, I would say. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it was 2012 or 13. 2013.
Yeah, that's probably like 10 years ago or something. Yeah. We've been for a long, long time. Yeah. What would you find the two tangible and measurable changes you made when you worked with me?
Well, I think like the bracelets that you gave me and stuff like that. I really didn't know if in my mind this is some great placebo effect that's taking.
I remember you saying.
But I was like, but I'll take it though, because I'm noticing something here, and It's kind of like when I began working with another teacher of mine in the past. His name is Yadi. And basically, he's like sort of a holistic type of healer dude that uses Qigong and things like that. And, the whole time you're doing these like silly,
Weird moves.
feel like silly little exercises, you're not going to see a benefit like how when you take a pill or something but then if you just keep doing it and then slowly over time, one day you wake up and you're like, hey, I don't have that pain anymore. Or, and then you're like, well, is it because of what he gave me that's working? Or is it just because life happens and life,
Yes.
So I began to experience a lot of shifts, needed shifts, even though, people might have looked at me at my very, very lowest, and felt that I was somebody with, immense promise and abundance or whatever. I wasn't embodying that, and I wasn't radiating that necessarily. And owning it. I wasn't owning it. So, through the process of working with you and some of your practices, I feel like I gained a piece of myself back that I was, ready to let just float away. And I gained my power back in a way. And yeah, I began to be the person with lots of promise and lots of radiance and things like that. So.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, people usually say that they're just ready to give up or ready to let it go, and then it's like bringing that personal power back into alignment, which really sounds like what it is. And I always laugh about the qigong thing because it's like going to yoga, going to something. It's like people are expecting, we live in that society that's expecting very fast results. Even myself, when people come to me, people are expecting like, I'll do one ritual or I'll give them something. They're expecting almost the bracelet is going to be like a pill. And yes, sure, my stuff does work quickly, but it's a holistic method that over time they'll see massive change in their life, whereby it's like you said, you wake up one morning and you're like, wow, the pain is gone, or wow, I feel different. And I think it's really what you've said about embodying it internally. From where you were to where you are now, what does your life really look like? Like this it's a funny question because we've known each other for so long. So from where you first met me or saw me to where you are now, I know how much you've transformed, but I'd love for you to share it with everybody that's watching this.
Well, for one, it's never like I wasn't necessarily in a down and out space, financially or materially, but, and I hesitate to say it because it's not something you want to advertise, but I'm living very abundantly, in comparison to even where I was at that point, and, I don't have those, any struggles, materially or financially now. And it came in such an unexpected way. And it's not something I had to work and grind for and hustle and, you know what I mean? Like, so
you didn't have to push and shove for it. You received it in a very natural feminine state.
Yeah, I'm just attracting, and through, my energy and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like I'm really doing what I love. And what I love is not just one thing, I love taking care of myself. I love self-care. I love all kind of little hobbies that retired people do, like embroidery.
I love that. Tell us more about that. I love it.
And stuff like that. But I want to take those things and experiment with like making clothing and stuff, adding those things to clothing. So I'll paint and do embroidery type of art on clothing and jeans and things like that. And it is just like a Zen thing almost, and I still do my skincare products. But everything I do is just a work of love. It's not like a hustle. It's not like I got to do this to maintain, my bills and things like that. And it's a wonderful place to be. I didn't even aspire to be exactly in that place, but it agrees with me.
It's very nice to be in that rested mental state. And yeah, for anybody who wants to know about the skincare is the coffee scrub. Oh my goodness. I must have put water and rinsed it out and put it on my face. It was like the best thing ever. I still have some of your cleanser, and I still have some of your oxygenate face.
Oh yeah. I gotta give you the new stuff too.
That would be so wonderful. I'd love to receive that. And I remember you sent me, I think from Demeter Fragrance Library, you sent me the cinnamon sprays. I still have them. I have them in the bathroom every time. Like, obviously you can imagine how much I think of you because they're on my mantle.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
But I really enjoyed, like, you sent me so many, like a nice self-care package, so many teas. But yeah, your skincare is just, I have truly enjoyed the coffee scrub, and I have the oxygenate pumps, but they are amazing.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's used with my energy too. Yes. And a lot of people don't know that, but anytime you're buying products that consist of water, a lot of times essentially it's programmed. That water gets programmed by the energy of whoever is formulating or creating products. So it's good to support people that you know and that you like and that you trust, for that reason.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that science of water basically, and we can literally speak life into water, or we can make it hateful. And I always think about plants and water and what are we doing to people, or what are we saying to people, and I think whatever's going on in the spirit inside reflects on the face, and it's so easy to tell if somebody is in a good state, in a bad state, because somatically all those thoughts are going to come from internally and they're going to bubble up to your surface basically.
Yeah, it's so weird that, I don't know if this is just something that happens as you get older, but you begin to see on people's faces who they are.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what kind of physical beauty or lack of beauty that they have. You can see characteristics. You can almost see the way they live their life. You can see elements of their soul. It shows on your face. Even a very pretty woman who's a lot of times women don't become less attractive because of age. They become less attractive because of the ugly ways of living, in my experience.
Yeah, they're ugly, they're bitter, they're negative, they're closed off, they're 50,000 walls. I mean, I went to the salon today. It's funny you say that. And, this woman was it was a whole bitch fest about her husband. And I was like, hurry up, I want to go home. And I just didn't, but I could see her energy was so small and narrow and tight. You can see the tightness as opposed to luminosity and radiance, but the spirit has to have radiance in it first. And I think it's exactly what you said, that so many women, they don't lose their youth as much as what youth is associated with, which is that joyousness, happiness, playfulness,
innocence, charm,
exactly. And they just
show on their features. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. What do you feel is the one major thing that you've totally changed after Spartanite? Completely changed.
I became less aggressive.
Okay, that's interesting. No one's ever said that to me before.
Right. Because, I had been going after what I wanted and pursuing this and,
very masculine.
Right. And so I retreat and I don't chase, I attract. I let it come to me, and that way I know what's coming to me is for me. Like it's almost like I haven't had to earn anything.
It sounds to me the massive shift that you had is just moving out of, like, I would almost say that the negative masculine, because the healthy masculine, of course, chases,
Right.
pursues, goes after what he wants.
It's purpose, you know.
Even us women, we can go after what we want, but there comes a point where obviously we spoke about this at great length, that there's such mess in society where women have become, or being programmed by the elite to become so masculine, that even ambition there is no feminine charm to it. There is no calmness, if that makes sense. There is not just stay in the stillness and receive. I mean, obviously you have different situations where you are going to step out of it, which is normal, but yeah, that makes me very happy that you've just learned to pull everything towards yourself, almost seduce life is what I get.
Right, yeah. I would say that's the biggest change. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so great. What was the most delightful part of working with us?
I guess just like an element of not knowing, but needing to trust the process and be surprised, pleasantly surprised that, there's an outcome,
Yeah. I remember you getting an aura cleanse and you're like, yeah, this is not placebo. this works. I feel so good. That's really interesting, because why do you feel so many people would be closed off to that?
Well, it's just like I think some people battle with traditions that they've been taught, to where, how sometimes people are afraid to believe in astrology because their religion has taught them that it's of the devil, and things like that.
Yeah. So essentially it's the self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And last and not but least, if someone is thinking of working with us, what would you tell them and why?
I would tell them, if they have come to your page and been attracted to your tweets or your message and things like that, it's probably for a reason, and give it a try. You'll never know unless you try. And you'll probably find out and learn some things about yourself, even if you don't, continue, it's worth a try. It's worth a try.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you. Last, I'm just curious to ask this, and this is obviously not part of the study. Is there anything you want to share with anybody watching this that you feel would be a helpful message, or like guidance, or anything that you've learned over the years, whereby you have that now and you have that quiet wisdom where we can look towards you and say, wow, she really brought that from her journey and she wants to share it?
It's so crazy. Like, I'm the type of person who thinks of the perfect thing to say after the party's over, but I can kind of feel so on the spot for, like, give us something really meaningful.
No, whatever.
Right now.
Whatever comes up. No, please don't feel on the spot. It's whatever comes up for you.
Well, I think that, like, the age-old cliche that what's for you is for you. Like, if something is for you, you won't miss it. And if something's not for you, like, you can't do all the right things and make it, align. Whereas if something is for you, it's like, you can't beat it off you. Like, you can be in an undeserving state almost, and still
it'll come towards you.
Mm-hmm.
That's very powerful. Well, thank you so much for all your answers and your wisdom, and to share a bit more of your story and how we've helped you. And thank you so much for your time, Rita.
Thank you.